to The Splash Live.
Hello and welcome back to The Splash Live. I'm Tyler Kieft alongside Dayan Chaaban for Greater West Bloomfield's live daily news and talk show. Good Monday morning. Good Monday to you. My apologies, Dayan. As we start off a new week of challenges, but a new week of fun also ahead. Good to have you with us, and good to have you with us at home as well, watching us and listening to us all throughout the community as you do each and every day. You can always find us on Comcast channel 15 on their cable television stations, as well as on AT&T over cable. That is on channel 99. As well, you can also find us online in high definition on CivicCenterTV.com. Just go to our Watch Live page, and on that page, you'll watch us in high definition. It's also a great place to watch all of our programming all throughout the day, live, as well as find us on demand, CivicCenterTV.com. We're also on Facebook every day via Facebook Live, Facebook.com/CivicCenterTV15. Also, you can find us on YouTube. That's arguably the best place to find us, at Civic Center TV each and every day. Our live show there every single day, as well as on demand right away after our live show. You miss our show, you go right to our YouTube page. Maybe you missed the segment, you come in late. It's all right there for you on demand in real time. YouTube.com. Just search Civic Center TV, Greater West Bloomfield. As well, you can also listen to us on the radio every single morning as you're driving into work, getting your kids those final days of camp, maybe a tutor for some last-minute preparation for the school year. 89.3 Lakes FM, and live streaming online, as always, on lakesfm.com. Looks like it's going to be a kind of back and forth week weather-wise this week. Diane had a great week last week with some severe weather on Friday and later on, but what's the lookout for this week so far?
So Tyler, today we started off with the cloudy skies, and as we go through, we might expect a little bit of light rain as we go through the afternoon, and it might intensify to heavy rainfall as we go in through the evening. We're going to expect highs of 76 degrees and lows of 61. Wednesday morning, it's going to be similar with light rain in the morning, Tuesday, and we can expect steady rain in the morning with temperatures reaching a high of 67 and lows of 56. As we go through the night on Tuesday, it's going to be a little less rain, or it's just going to be partly cloudy with a little less chances of rain. Moving on to Wednesday, Tyler, though, for all of you sun lovers, Wednesday is going to be a great sunny day with little clouds here and there, but nevertheless, it's going to be a beautiful Sunday with the highs of 79 and lows of 61. Beautiful Wednesday, with the highs of 79 and lows of 61 degrees.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be kind of a back and forth week with some rain here and there, but for the most part, especially that Wednesday looking really nice. And even later on in the week, I checked the weather report myself. I know I'm stealing your thunder a little bit better on later on in the portions of the week, but plenty of good news and a little bit of that as well in the news this morning in Greater West Bloomfield. A classic car show over the weekend brought the people out to the Orchard Lake Museum in West Bloomfield Township. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. The Woodward Dream Cruise experience is coming to the Greater West Bloomfield area today at Gino's Pre-Dream Cruise Car Show. We'll give you the details on that and how you can participate. Also, some unfortunate news in Dream Cruise season. Be on the look for a stolen classic car out of Orchard Lake. We'll give you all the details on that. You're seeing a preview of the vehicle on your screen if you're watching us now or online on CivicCenterTV.com. We'll talk about that, what to look out for, and how you can help bring this car back to its beloved home. An afternoon concert series is returning very soon at Temple Israel. Marshbank music is over, but Temple Israel continuing the concerts as we wrap up the month of August. West Bloomfield Parks Connect is also set to reopen its new location in West Bloomfield Township. We'll give you the details on their grand reopening festivities, an open house, and a formal ribbon cutting coming up very soon, and we're going to be there as well. All the details on that. Plus, we're a little over a month into the hands-free driving law in Michigan being in effect. How is that being enforced? How effective has it been in keeping our roads safe or getting our roads to be safer? First Lieutenant Mike Shaw from the Michigan State Police will join us to discuss. Plus, the West Bloomfield Township Police Department is teaming up with the American Red Cross to honor a fallen officer. We'll give you the details on that partnership, as well as a former teacher becoming an organ donor, not just for any ordinary person, but actually for one of their former students. A great story. Dayan Chaaban will have the details on that. Plus, ice cream lovers might want to be on the lookout. A listeria risk is prompting one ice cream manufacturer to recall some of their products. We'll give you the details, what to look out for symptom-wise, and whether or not you should be bringing your ice cream back into the stores or thrown in the trash. All those details are coming up, plus other great stories from around the greater West Bloomfield community. Stay tuned. You're watching and listening to The Splash Live.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's what white people think. You alright?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you wanna talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
And now, back to The Splash Live.
Welcome back to The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live daily news and talk show. I'm Tyler Kieft alongside Dayan Chaaban. We're heading closer and closer to the official Woodward Dream Cruise, but Dream Cruise season is well underway, including right here in the Greater West Bloomfield community. Over the weekend, really cool event at the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society's Orchard Lake Museum. That's on the corner of Orchard Lake and Long Lake Roads in West Bloomfield. You'll know you've passed it if you're seeing Apple Island out on the left, but many did not pass by, went to the parking lots, brought their classic cars out over the weekend to put them on display for the entirety of the community. Local car owners and car enthusiasts alike coming out to celebrate classic car season here in Oakland County in southeastern Michigan. Many attended with their own cars and won some awards in the process, and plenty of recreation and a lot of the social activity at that event at the Orchard Lake Museum over the weekend, kicking off the Dream Cruise season here in the Greater West Bloomfield community. It continues on throughout the week and then moves out to the eastern part of Oakland County as we get toward the Dream Cruise proper later on in the week. As far as the Orchard Lake Museum is concerned, the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society has tons of fun events all throughout the fall and all throughout the year, including open houses like this Classic Cars open house they've started doing on an annual basis. They're actually having more open houses now than they ever have before. Recent changes over the last couple of years have enabled them to open up not just on the first Sunday of the month, but on the first, second, fourth, and fifth Sunday of the month, depending on the calendar, as well as the third Friday of every month from 1 p.m. until 4 p.m. You can get all the details on their upcoming open houses, as well as other events and exhibits from across the community and at the Orchard Lake Museum on gwbhs.org. A great place to go if you're looking for something to do and a learning experience in the Greater West Bloomfield area. As we continue on with car culture making its way into West Bloomfield this week in the Greater West Bloomfield area, over in Keego Harbor, it is another fun annual event people love to go out to, the Geno's Pre-Dream Cruise Car Show. If there's any one event in the Greater West Bloomfield community that is the true kickoff of Dream Cruise season in our four communities, it is Geno's Pre-Dream Cruise Car Show. That is happening tonight, 5 o'clock until dark at Geno's Pizzeria and Restaurant, as well as Santia Hall in their parking lot area. So, hey, what a great opportunity. Classic cars, music. You can win some awards and some other goodies and go inside for a great meal as well, all in Keego Harbor in the heart of the lakes on Cass Lake Road. If there's anything that makes it worth going through the construction on Orchard Lake Road, it's making your way down Orchard Lake Road and seeing a bunch of classic cars and then following them into Geno's and Santia Hall in Keego Harbor for this event. Again, 5 o'clock is when it kicks off today, runs until dark at Geno's Pizzeria and Restaurant and Santia Hall. Music, dash plates, and trophies will be available for participants with their classic, exotic, and other Harbor luxury vehicles, a great annual late summer favorite in Keego Harbor. And Dayan, a lot of communities have events like this, bringing people out for classic car lovers. We saw what happened in West Bloomfield over the weekend, expecting something very similar and very similar camaraderie and partnership in the community happening at Geno's tonight.
Exactly, Tyler. But you know what's better about this event? It has pizza. Like who can skip pizza? It's pizza and classic cars, as you said, Tyler. Pizza, classic cars, and an amazing community event where you can just like socialize with all these people that are going there. So it's totally worth all the construction, as you said, Tyler. It's worth the drive. And what else? How else can you? What better can you do before you kick off this weekend? It's Monday, so that's the best you can do on Monday. It's a great start to your weekend. Pizzas, classic cars, just an amazing event.
Yeah, Gino and the Santia family, some unofficial Keego Harbor royalty. Anything they're behind is usually something fun and interesting for the community. So go on out to Gino's, 5 o'clock until dark tonight for this fun event. Unfortunate news in Orchard Lake. A stolen vehicle was reported by Orchard Lake Police Department over the weekend. On Friday, they reported a white 1979 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am had been stolen from a residence on Old Orchard Trail and Willow Lane in Orchard Lake. It is with plate BAJ 485, a white Pontiac Firebird Trans Am. It has an orange Phoenix you're seeing on the hood of the vehicle. Stands out. That's what you're looking for. Look for that orange Phoenix, a white 1979 Firebird, T-tops, red velour interior. You're also seeing, and some black lining on the doors also in the interior is also a distinct feature of this vehicle. That's what's good about this, is that we're looking for this vehicle out in the community and in surrounding areas. A lot of this vehicle does stand out very, very easily. So if you do see this Trans Am, if you do see this stolen vehicle out in the community this week, give a call to Lieutenant Jeff Gomez at the Orchard Lake Police Department. Phone number 248-682-2400, extension 211, 248-682-2400, extension 211, or send an email to the Orchard Lake Police Department's detective unit, policedetective@cityoforchardlake.com. Again, that email, policedetective@cityoforchardlake.com, and Jared at Master Control. If we can just show that vehicle one more time so people get a good look at it as they're looking for this vehicle. That is the back of this Pontiac Trans Am 1979 Firebird, red velour interior, and has that very distinct orange Phoenix on the hood of the vehicle. That's what you're looking out for. If you see that vehicle around, especially if you see a license plate still on it, BAJ 485, Bravo Alpha Joliet 485. That's what you're looking for. Call the Orchard Lake Police Department or your local police department and let them know this is a stolen vehicle that they are on the lookout for, as someone's trying to get that back in their hands before Dream Cruise season. Have a great time of the year. They've surely been working on getting it Dream Cruise ready for several months now, all throughout the summer. Really unfortunate, but hopefully we're able to provide some help there in Orchard Lake and get this car back to its beloved owner. We'll take a break on the Splash Live. On the other side of the break, we'll talk about the new hands-free driving law in the state of Michigan. We're a little over a month into that law being in effect in the state of Michigan. How is it being enforced? What changes are we seeing? Maybe what issues are we seeing still with maybe perhaps some growing pains? First Lieutenant Mike Shaw from the Michigan State Police 2nd District will join us after this break to discuss on the Splash Live.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live. Watch Civic Center TV with our brand new live captions. To turn on live captions, go to civiccentertv.com and click Watch Live. In your web browser, click on the Options tab in the top right and find the Accessibilities tab. Then just switch on live captions to heighten your enjoyment of our local programming. Thank you so much for watching Civic Center TV.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
And now, back to The Splash, live.
Welcome back to The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live daily news and talk show. I'm Tyler Kieft alongside Dayan Chaaban. For well over a month, we have been hearing about Michigan's new hands-free driving law, but it's only really been in effect for about 1 month in the Great Lakes state, aimed at reducing distracted driving on our roads, people using their devices when they probably shouldn't be out driving on Michigan's roads and, of course, out on the highways. The law has been in effect for about a month, and joining us now to talk about how it's being enforced, what we're seeing out on the roads, is First Lieutenant Mike Shaw, the Public Information Officer for the Michigan State Police's 2nd District. First Lieutenant Shaw, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, glad to have you on, as this law went into effect late last month, and it's aimed at curbing distracted driving, particularly from our devices, as they've become a much more critical part of our day-to-day life. That's, of course, meant that in the vehicle, people are taking not just taking calls, they're answering text messages, they're scouring social media. Hopefully only had been happening at red lights in the past, but it's not just that's been the problem. And so this new law has come into effect. So far, how are we seeing this new law being reacted to from those driving out on the roads? Are we seeing some of those issues start to wane a little bit?
A little bit, but I think part of it is going to be educational wise, that we're kind of seeing it first. You know, it just went into effect June 30th. I've seen a lot of media reports talking about how, you know, things have changed so fast. But, you know, I'm a little pumping the brakes on that a little bit. It's going to take a while to see exactly how this is going to be, you know, working for us. Now, we know in other states that we've seen a decrease in that distracted driving. And our hope is Michigan will follow suit with some of those other states as well. We do know that the former law just wasn't working for us. It was very hard to enforce. So now we're able to kind of take a look at things, get this out where we're actually taking that cell phone out of people's hands so they're not distracted by that phone.
Just how significant was distracted driving, particularly the use of cell phones and other devices in vehicles, before this law went into effect?
You know, I don't think you had to be a trooper or anything like that to kind of see. I'm sure even today, even with the law in effect, that you probably saw somebody on their cell phone on the way to, you know, to work today. So we know that it was a big problem. And my goal is hopefully people will just kind of slowly get used to the fact that they just don't need their cell phone when they're behind the wheel, and maybe going ahead and throwing it in the glove box, or being, you know, very proactive about not doing that. But we also want people to know that, you know, our troopers are out there looking for this. If they do catch it, or it is part of a traffic crash, you know, you can be cited for it. And, you know, you're maybe looking at a couple $100 and some community service. So if just putting the phone down isn't a good thing for you, maybe that little bit of incentive, I guess the way to call it, will help you out.
And it is something new. It is an adjustment for people out on the roads on their day-to-day. And, you know, you would hope in the past, if they were using their phones at all, it's maybe at a red light, or ideally they're parked or they've pulled over to use their device. But as this has been just in its infancy, in the first month of this really being in effect, from the law enforcement standpoint, how is that being addressed? You mentioned that education is a critical part of that at this point.
And it is. And it's like any other law. You know, we don't have special troopers out there that are just looking for people that are violating the hands-free law. But while troopers are on patrol, they do observe somebody that's actually using their phone. You know, I kind of used my way of doing it when I was out on the road working as a trooper. If I went up there and we had a discussion about it, you realize that, you know, you had made a mistake. Sometimes a warning is good enough to change that driving behavior. Other times, you know, if people say, well, I wasn't on my phone, when, you know, obviously that you were, then maybe writing it down, or that traffic citation is a way to kind of change that driving behavior. So we haven't made anything out there just to put them out, our troopers out there on the road looking for this, but in the performance of their duties every day, just like any other traffic violation, that's what they're going to be looking for. But, you know, an educational component like today is very important for people to really understand that this law is about safety. It's It's not revenue enhancement. It's not any of the other silliness that people talk about. We were seeing too many people die on our roads in preventable traffic crashes, and we knew a lot of that was from distracted driving. And if we could change the law to where you couldn't hold that cell phone anymore, our hope is that those people that we've lost over the years on our roads, maybe that will become a less and less number. And our goal, and Governor Whitmer has said it numerous times, our goal is to have 0 traffic fatalities in Michigan by 2050, and we're hoping that this is a start.
The law went into effect officially on Friday, June 30th. So a little bit over a month, maybe a month and a half that we've had this law in place. And it's aimed at reducing distracted driving by looking at your phone, using your phone, maybe trying to drive with your wrists or with your knees, or other really bad habits that had developed over the years as cell phones became a dominant part of day-to-day life. But you also think about people whose vehicles don't have those hands-free technologies in them, the touch screens, the apparatus on the actual steering wheel that allows you to answer or deny calls or change radio stations and so on and so forth. So from that standpoint, what is being suggested, or what sort of assistances maybe are being provided to inform these residents of the state of Michigan that maybe your troopers are coming into contact with, or local law enforcement, but what they can do to continue to use those phones for allowable usage, like following a map or so on or so forth, or accepting phone calls at this time?
So we have gotten a lot of inquiries, especially from our rideshare people that use that. And not mention any specific names, but rideshare people. So if you don't have that technology in your car, you can purchase a mount. You are allowed to make a one-touch contact with your phone, like to start your GPS. But what we recommend is kind of like seatbelts. We tell people when you get in the car, you put your seatbelt on, you start it off, and you leave. Now what we're recommending to people is you put on your seatbelt, you program your GPS before you take off, get that going, and then you can go out there and use your phone as a GPS. So we know a lot of people are dependent on that portion of it. And again, it's not to try to take that away from anybody. What our main goal is that you don't drive distracted. And one of the big things is, we saw in a traffic crash earlier, it wasn't a cell phone, but somebody had lost a cigarette, went to reach down behind their car and ended up getting a large, in a fatal crash. So we know that this distracted driving is causing a lot of these preventable crashes. We don't want to take your phone totally away from you, even though I would love it if you just stuff it in the glove box and not use it while you're driving. There are some other ways, such as a mount that you can use it to use that GPS in other parts of your phone.
And you mentioned those mounts that you can use. So I want to get some clarification on that for people that may be confused on what is legal and what is not legal in their cars in terms of mounts. I know I've heard plenty of times in the past that, anything that's blocking your front windshield may be a cause for you to get pulled over, have a talking to with an officer or a trooper. But a lot of those mounts do have those suction cups that go onto either part of your vehicle or onto your front windshield. What is allowed in terms of those mounts within laws that already existed that hopefully are helping to aid in residents being able to stay within compliance with this hands-free driving law?
So the best one naturally is the one that goes into your air vent, and it kind of keeps it out of your line of sight as you're going along. So it's also easier to look at it when you're checking your GPS or listening to the sound from that GPS. If you do have one of the suction cups, we advise you that you put it off to the side of your windshield. That way it doesn't interfere with your sight. Naturally, you can't stick it right there in the middle of your windshield, where now that becomes another problem for you, right? Not only are you driving a little bit distracted, now you can't see why you're doing that. So I think a lot of drivers have enough common sense to kind of put it in a spot where they can use it, do what they want to do with their cell phone within the law, and also be able to see the road where they're going.
And then in terms of where we go with this and how effective it has been, I know it's only been a little over a month, maybe a month and a half at this point, since this went into effect on June 30th. So perhaps there's not good enough metrics on that just yet to see how effective this has been. But the seeing eye test from talking to your troopers and other local law enforcement in the 2nd District, First Lieutenant Shaw, has this been something that has reduced distracted driving, or at least made it a little bit less of a severe problem as it was before this law went into effect?
You know, talking to our troopers that are out there, they have seen less of it. Is a little more sneakiness, maybe, kind of like the seatbelt at first. When people see a trooper or a police officer, that marked patrol car, sometimes if they don't have their seatbelt on, they try that little covert slide over the seatbelt. It's kind of the same thing with the phone. If they're on their phone and suddenly they see that marked car, maybe they'll kind of try to put it down to the side. But, we just want people to realize that it's about safety, right? We want people to be able to drive wherever they want to go, and not take a chance of getting hurt. So that's the biggest thing that we really want to push with this goes. Probably June 30th of 2024, we'll take a look at it, see where we've been for that year. But it's going to take a good 2 or 3 years to kind of get that kind of pattern to see exactly how this has helped us reduce those preventable crashes.
First Lieutenant Mike Shaw joins us, Public Information Officer from the Michigan State Police's 2nd District, which includes much of our area here in Oakland County. First Lieutenant Shaw, before we let you go, if people want to learn more about what is allowed, what isn't allowed under this law, if they have questions, what's the best way for them to go about getting that accurate information from either the Michigan State Police, from the state government, or other reputable outlets?
You could go into your favorite search engine and just type in Michigan distracted driving. It will take you to our website on michigan.gov. They will not only talk about the hands-free law itself and what's allowed and what's not, but it'll also talk about other kinds of distracted driving as well, of things that you should try to not do when you're behind the wheel. And I know it sounds kind of mean because everybody kind of does it, but, the things like eating and, engaging in conversation, loud music, change your radio station. There's a lot of other distracted driving that's not part of that law, but it kind of brings that into focus too, of things that you should try to avoid while you're behind the wheel.
Plenty of things to avoid to prevent distracted driving related incidents on our roads. Hopefully so far that has been the case with this new hands-free driving law, and it continues to be something that people are able to get educated on over time with help of their friends at the Michigan State Police and their local law enforcement. First Lieutenant Shaw, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks again, anytime.
Michigan.gov is the place to go for more information on the hands-free driving law, as well as other laws on our roads and all throughout the state. Michigan.gov, the place to go for that, and more updates from the Michigan State Police. We'll take a break on the Splash Live. On the other side, plenty of more news and information to get to on today's program, so stay with us, and we'll be right back after this break. You're watching and listening to the Splash Live.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
1 in 4 Michigan homes has high levels of radon, a naturally occurring radioactive gas known to cause lung cancer. It doesn't matter where you live or what type of home you have. You won't even know it's there unless you test. So don't wait. Testing is cheap and easy, and if there's a problem, it's simple to fix. Visit michigan.gov/radon to learn more.
We took action. Will you?
Wondering what to say to someone who's been sexually assaulted or abused?
I believe you. I'm so sorry this happened.
It's not your fault.
Confidential and anonymous help is available at the Michigan Sexual Assault Hotline. Connect with us 24/7. Call 855-VOICES-4 or text 1-866-238-1454 for help. Learn more at michigan.gov/voices4.
And now, back to the Splash Live.
Welcome back to the Splash Live. This is Dayan Chaaban alongside Tyler Kieft. So Saturday's Human Library event that happened at West Bloomfield Library was a quote-unquote, as they mentioned, a highly successful turnout. The event drew a diverse crowd who focused on challenging stereotypes and biases through conversation. It also featured the diverse volunteers representing an array of backgrounds, from religious backgrounds, cultural backgrounds, and experiences. The event, these perspectives of volunteers were known as the human books, and they share their personal stories and engage in dialogue with the readers or the attendees. So, Tyler, it's an incredible initiative that it's truly sparked a wave of empathy in our community and brought our community together. It also encourages inclusivity in our environment. So I think it does shape the way we connect with each other and humanizes the other even more.
Yeah, a great way to introduce sort of this concept of having these conversations, getting to know people in your community that maybe you're not as familiar with, maybe you aren't socializing with as often as you are others, and it can broaden your horizons, learn something about other people, other life experiences, other walks of life, while also getting to know your community better in the process. So really cool event over the weekend at the West Bloomfield Township Public Library. Plenty of other cool events coming up, including some concerts this month at Temple Israel. Dayan, give us the details.
Yes, Tyler, that is true. So coming up this weekend on August 17th, pianist David Rogers will be presenting a captivating piano performance as well as a speech in which he talks about several other Jewish artists. So he wants to recognize Jewish artists and what they have done to the music industry, whether it's composers, he wants to highlight their contributions. It's a great event for everybody who loves music. It's also, I must say, it's a registration free, so you don't have to register for the event. It's happening at 5 on August 17th. You can learn more about this event on temple-israel.org. So I know that there's no registration required, but if a huge group is coming, then they advise to call 248-661-5700. Just inform them that you're coming in with a huge group so they can settle you in and create an amazing space for you.
Yeah, another fun event that is coming up, getting those concerts out of the way before we go into the fall season, some of these concert series going away. The end of Marchbank Music came very recently. That's always a favorite over the summers, and one more concert over this summer before they have one more for the year at Temple Israel happening, I believe, in October. And so plenty of more information to come on those concerts in the coming weeks. We'll take a break on the Splash Live. On the other side, how you can help people that may be facing drug misuse or abuse issues in our community, how they can also help themselves without putting themselves in a jail cell, getting the help that they need from resources through the West Bloomfield Township Police Department. That's coming up next. Stay tuned. You're watching and listening to the Splash Live.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
A breath of fresh air will do you a world of good. It'll help you press pause and see things a little more clearly.
And when you step outside and take it in, a world of worry gets swept away.
And what's left?
Just feels right.
Breathe in deep and let fresh renew your spirit in pure Michigan.
Watch Civic Center TV with our brand new live captions. To turn on live captions, go to civiccentertv.com and click Watch Live. In your web browser, click on the Options tab in the top right and find the Accessibilities tab. Then just switch on live captions to heighten your enjoyment of our local programming. Thank you so much for watching Civic Center TV. And now, back to the Splash Live.
Welcome back to the Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live daily news and talk show. I'm Tyler Kieft alongside Dayan Chaaban. There's over 130 police departments in the state of Michigan and nearly 200 police departments between Michigan and New York that are partnering with Families Against Narcotics to help address the drug and the opioid epidemic here in the United States, both the dependence issues and intervention issues to help prevent drug dependence from becoming a problem or expanding as a problem in our communities. That includes a partnership between the Families Against Narcotics and West Bloomfield's Police Department in a program called Hope Not Handcuffs. Joining us now from that organization is Safa El-Masiri on today's edition of the Splash Live. Safa, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, because Yeah, glad to have you on to talk to you about this partnership, because it's important even now, really more today than it has been in decades past, as we're seeing the opioid epidemic in the United States continue to take a toll on our communities, fentanyl in our communities, and other various drugs that are being laced into other drugs in our community on the black market and on the streets, affecting our families. And that's part of the reason why this partnership has come into play, not necessarily to catch these individuals that have developed these drug dependence issues and put them in a jail cell, which tended to be the way that things had gone in the past, but to get in between them and this drug dependence, ideally early, but even in process, and help these individuals. So tell us about this partnership and some of what goes into your relationship with the West Bloomfield Township Police Department.
So our mission for Hope Not Handcuffs is to, it's more of like a deflection program, to where we don't want the person who's struggling with substance use disorder to go to jail. Because when you put someone who has this substance use disorder and you throw them in jail, what happens? They come back out and they do the same thing over. So our mission is to get them the help that they need with detox or treatment. And so we partnered with, like you said, 130 police departments across the state of Michigan. And the process works like this. It's anyone with a substance use disorder or an alcohol problem can walk into a participating police department and ask for assistance with getting into treatment or detox. So they walk into the department, they ask the front desk officer, they let them know that they're there for Hope Not Handcuffs. The front desk officer will then call us at Fan Central. We will send out an angel volunteer. This angel volunteer will arrive and assist them with compassion and love. They will assist them with a short phone call to our call center to do a short intake. Then we will call the PIHP three-way. The PIHP is either Common Ground in Oakland County, the Access Center in Wayne County. It just depends on the county that you're in. We have different PIHPs across the state of Michigan. So they will place the individual into a treatment center. And once that's completed, we will send out an Uber to the individual at the department, and they will transport them to the treatment center.
And there are a number of different reasons why people may not go and seek this sort of treatment without the intervention from their local police department and public safety department, or other interventionary groups such as Hope Not Handcuffs or Families Against Narcotics, or the Alliance of Coalitions for Healthy Communities, and so many others in our local area. But part of that is because these drug rehab treatment centers in many cases can be very expensive to get into. Some may not have the health care to be able to afford these sort of services, and that's a concern. But that's part of the reason why your organization, local police departments, are partnering, is to provide those interventionary services and also relieve some of the worries that may be behind it for a lot of these individuals that, look, they've developed a drug dependence or an alcohol dependence of some degree, but they are very clear in their minds they don't want to continue down that particular path, and they don't want the problem that they currently have to escalate. And so how does your organization help to bridge some of those gaps that may be there financially for people seeking these sorts of treatments?
Right. So we get that question a lot, actually. I'm glad you asked that. So all of our services at Families Against Narcotics are free of charge. And, some people, like you said, don't want to walk into the police department because they're afraid of getting arrested. But that's the beauty of this program, is if you walk into a police department asking for help that has Hope Not Handcuffs, you cannot get arrested. If you have pills on you, if you have drugs on you, you just have to forfeit what you have, but you will not get arrested because you're walking into the department and you're asking for help. So that's the beauty of this program. And it just depends on what kind of insurance you have. If you have private insurance, if you don't have insurance, if you have state insurance, we work with everyone. We have a grant from the MDHHS that will allow everyone to get the same help needed. So we try to remove the stigma with law enforcement and the community. And that's why people feel comfortable when they know they cannot get arrested walking into the police department. And partnering with the West Bloomfield PD has been such a blessing because they've had walk-ins. They've had a lot of people from the community, you know, walk in and have that relationship with the law enforcement. You know, we also have the patrol officers when they're out, if they have repeat offenders, you know, with smaller crimes, nothing major, but they will hand out our business card that has our call center number, which is 833-202-HOPE. They'll just give it to them. Say, here's an extra resource. You know, instead of doing that revolving door, here is the business card. Here's an extra resource. Use it. So you're not constantly in and out, getting in trouble. You know, we'd like to help as many people as we can.
Safa El-Masiri is with us from Families Against Narcotics' Hope Not Handcuffs program, which has partnerships with over 130 police departments in the state of Michigan, plus over 60 in the state of New York, including here in West Bloomfield Township with the West Bloomfield Police Department. You can learn more information about Hope Not Handcuffs by visiting familiesagainstnarcotics.org/Hope Not Handcuffs, or call their toll-free number between 8 a.m. and 10 p.m. at 833-202-HOPE. 833-202-4673 for more information. And Safa, this is a relatively new program, began in 2017, but over the last roughly 6 years, or over 6 years at this point that it's been in operations, you've had enough time and enough interventions to be able to get some real metrics and understanding of just how these sort of programs work versus the former traditional model of addressing drug use and misuse in our communities. How much more effective is something like this program, like Hope Not Handcuffs, versus the old model of addressing drug use and drug abuse in our local communities?
So we've grown a lot. We've grown tremendously. We've come a long way. People are starting to talk about it more. People are starting to come forward, knowing that there are these types of programs. They're just becoming more comfortable. We have peer recovery coaches that work hand in hand with the person who's struggling. So we offer the person who walks into the department, you know, and asks for help, we offer them a peer recovery coach, which 95% of the time they do accept. And a person who is a peer recovery coach is a person in recovery who's had at least 2 years in sobriety. So they walk hand in hand with them for 90 days. It's free of charge. And it's just that extra layer of support. You know, when you're first in the beginning of your recovery process, it's always nice to have the most support possible. And, you know, because it's talked about more and more, I have organized a town hall meeting, which is presented tomorrow in Grosse Pointe. So after we've heard about these overdose deaths that had occurred in the last 3 months, we took action. And like I said, I organized a town hall meeting, Families Against Narcotics, and I approached the Family Center in Grosse Pointe. And so we have a panel of, you know, numerous individuals who will be speaking about different subjects. We have the Department of Justice on the panel. We have the DEA. We have a person from Families Against Narcotics whose family member struggles with substance use disorder. We have 2 chiefs from the Points area and a person in recovery. We have a judge who will be speaking as well. And Homeland Security, they'll be doing a presentation. So we just want to bring awareness to the community. We want to bring resources. We just want to assist as many people as we can. And like I said, after those devastating overdose deaths that had occurred, we really felt the need to take action and do something for the community.
Again,
so it is
find
tomorrow.
More information on Families Against Please.
I am so sorry. So it is tomorrow, Wednesday, August 9th at 6:30 at the War Memorial in Grosse Pointe, and everyone is welcome. You know, we just, there will be a Q&A session after the presentations. So, you know, hopefully we'll see a good turnout because like I said, we'd like to get the word out there and help as many people as possible.
Numerous communities across the state of Michigan, across various counties in Michigan, are participating in Hope Not Handcuffs in partnership with Families Against Narcotics. It's Macomb County, Wayne County, Genesee, Saginaw, Midland, Ingham, St. Clair, Eaton, Otsego, Grand Traverse, Clinton, Chippewa, Crawford, so many other places too, including here in Oakland County. Several different communities, including 2 of the 4 communities in our primary coverage area, West Bloomfield Township, of course, as well as the Orchard Lake Police Department, also participating in this program Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. But other neighboring communities too, Waterford participating in this program, White Lake Township, Wixom, Southfield also involved, Novi, Farmington Hills, Bloomfield Township, Auburn Hills, so many different areas here in Oakland County that you can participate in this program. If you are in need of these services or know someone in need of these services, and even if you are in need of these services, but like Safa had said earlier on, maybe you don't want to go directly to your police department, you can also do this online by visiting familiesagainstnarcotics.org/hope-not-handcuffs and clicking under their online option, fill out the information, and somebody from the organization will contact you directly, or you can call them directly, 833-202-HOPE, 833-202-4673 for more information and for services. Safa, before we let you go, anything else that we should know about this program or other initiatives within this program that may be coming ahead?
So I would like to add that without our Angel volunteers, our Hope Not Handcuffs program would not be functional. Therefore, I am recruiting a few angels in every county. We are coming to Monroe as well. So we are looking for angels across the state of Michigan. So an angel volunteer is the person who meets the individual who walks into the police department asking for assistance with getting into treatment. It's very flexible. It doesn't take much time. The process is you would just have to attend a short training, which is an hour and a half, either virtual or in person. I have a couple angel trainings coming up, one in the city of Wayne and the next one in Oakland County. So if you go to our website, familiesagainstnarcotics.org, and you look at the different trainings that we have, you can choose from, you know, whichever one is convenient for you. You know, complete the training and you become an angel. And there are other roles as well, not just meeting the participant at the police department. There are a few others that you could choose from. But like I said, we are in dire need of angel volunteers. So please, you know, if you're a compassionate person, if you have a person in your family, you know, who has struggled and you know the pain and you know, if you have that compassion, it just takes maybe an hour out of your day to give back to the community. So.
And it's important to know that these resources are available, whether you are in need of these services or not, knowing that they are available for someone in your life, someone you may encounter on a day-to-day basis, to help people get the help they need to prevent these issues from expanding in our communities. Safa, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, glad to have you on with us today, Safa, and to talk about this program underway and still participating with both Orchard Lake and the West Bloomfield Township Police Departments. You can always call their non-emergency line, too, to get more information about that in your local area, and check familiesagainstnarcotics.org for information on other areas in Oakland County where this program is underway. Also underway is West Bloomfield Parks Connect at their new location in West Bloomfield Township. It's at the old Pet Value Store, 14 Mile and Farmington Road in West Bloomfield. A very fun event coming up in just a little over a week. August 23rd, Wednesday the 23rd, 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. is their formal open house event. They'll have a ribbon cutting earlier on, 9:30 in the morning during their 9 to 10 a.m. ribbon cutting ceremony. Coffee and treats will be provided. A great way to see the new senior center here in West Bloomfield Township, something that was in high demand for a very long time, came to fruition about a year pre-pandemic. And of course, the pandemic put them through the throes of the struggles that so many different businesses and so many different community services went through, had to leave their location. Now they have a new location up and running, and seniors are rejoicing in the greater West Bloomfield communities as that comes to bat. So join us out there August 23rd. Their open house is 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. We'll be out there in the morning that day for some coverage as well during their formal ribbon cutting. But programs already underway at the new Connect Center, wbparks.org for more information. Dayan, another great event coming up that shows the partnership between our community and other organizations. The police department and the American Red Cross partnering up in honor of the late fallen Sergeant Patrick O'Rourke. Give us the details on that event coming up.
Yes, true, Tyler. And it's also the West Bloomfield Parks. So the West Bloomfield Parks is partnering with the police department of West Bloomfield and the American Red Cross to bring forth the annual blood drive-in the memory of Sergeant Patrick O'Rourke, who died in West Bloomfield in the line of duty, unfortunately, on September of 2012. So the event, the drive-in, is happening on September 6th, the coming month, September 6th, and it's going to be at the Civic Center complex. Walk-ins are welcome, but if you would like to schedule an appointment ahead of time, you can at redcrossblood.org with the sponsor code WBPR, or you can call 1-800-RED-CROSS. So there's a lot of information on there. Again, it's redcrossblood.org with sponsor code WBPR. Also, Tyler, one more thing, Tyler, I forgot to mention is that all donors are going to get $5 Amazon gift card, which is a courtesy of the Suburban Propane.
Yeah, great event to come out to at the Connect Center. Another great connection there. Go there in about a week from Wednesday for the grand opening. And then 2 weeks after that, this blood drive also happening at Connect. We'll take a very short break on the Splash Live. On the other side, a heartwarming story about a relationship between a student and teacher, going beyond the basics of learning and going well and into the saving of lives. Dayan Chaaban will have that story for you after this break on the Splash Live.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
And now, back to the Splash Live.
Welcome back to the Splash Live. This is Dayan Chaaban. So in a very inspiring and very heartwarming story, one teacher sends an email that can change a family's life forever. So the Cleno family of Clarkston, which is in Oakland, it's a small city in Oakland County, they were having trouble. They were struggling to find a kidney donor for their son, Adam, who was 19 years old, and unfortunately, he could not match with any of his family members. One email and just changed their whole lives. One of his former teachers decided to donate his kidney. Unfortunately for Adam, she was a great match. Both of them are out of the surgery now, and they're doing so well. So that's just a very inspiring story of how close our community can be. In another news. So this is Jessica. This is Jessica Sorensen, who is the teacher who donated to Adam. We just want to display our gratitude for Jessica, and thank you so much for everything she's done for the Adam. She's definitely a life-changing story. In other news, we have Listeria. Real Kosher Ice Cream of Brooklyn, New York, is recalling their soft serve on-the-go ice cream and sorbet cups due to listeria, a potential contamination with listeria. So if you have a picture of the soft serve, this is what it looks like. It's served in several grocery stores in Michigan. So if you have that, take it back or dispose it properly. If you're experiencing any nausea or pain or anything, make sure you visit your healthcare provider. But so far, we don't have any cases in Michigan, thankfully. But just in case you do, make sure you return it back and ask for a refund or dispose it properly.
Yeah, really important to keep up to date on these sorts of recalls as they come into the news. So if you have happened to purchase this kind of ice cream or something that looks like this, check the label, make sure that it is or is not within the parameters of this particular recall. If it is, or if you're even a little bit unsure, bring it back to the grocery store, have them check on their recall lists. I'm sure they would be very helpful and very happy to help you with that. And the worst case scenario is you got to throw it out and move on. Maybe if you have a receipt for that, perhaps through this particular company, you'll be able to get some sort of refund or rebate for that purchase under this recall. Find more information on that by searching for that recall. And again, that is Real Kosher Ice Cream setting that recall. That's through the FDA making that announcement very recently. Just a couple minutes left here with our news today, and I want to take a look at a beautiful picture we had from over the weekend. Found this on Facebook, if we can get this up, of Orchard Lake. Catherine Hoffman on Facebook posted a picture of the lake over the weekend. Beautiful picture. We've had plenty of others that have come through in the last couple of weeks of photos from across the community. Sunsets in Keego Harbor, sunsets over the lake in Sylvan Lake. And Dayan, this picture, another great example of that. This is from Catherine Hoffman on Facebook when she was out on the lake in Orchard Lake over the weekend. And Dayan, plenty of opportunities. If people have taken their photos, they want to get their photos on TV, get a shout out from our team like Catherine has today. A great way to do that is to send us these pictures or tag us in these pictures on social media. Give us a brief overview of how people can do that and maybe get themselves on our show.
Yes, Tyler. So anybody who's taken a beautiful picture in any of our beautiful cities, you can always follow us on @Civic Center TV on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter as well. So it's @Civic Center TV, and just tag us, or you can send us a DM and we will definitely feature you in our show. It's a great way. We can just look at how beautiful your pictures are and all the beautiful all these beautiful experiences we have. So it's, as you said, @Civic Center TV 15 on Facebook and @Civic Center TV on Instagram. You can tag us on Instagram or Facebook or on Twitter.
Yeah, and you saw our YouTube video link too as well @Civic Center TV. If you have made a video, maybe you put one on YouTube of something that's displaying the beauty of the greater West Bloomfield community, something fun that's happened. Maybe you've gotten some sort of a video for that. You can also tag us on YouTube as well, and we maybe perhaps would play your video right here on our program. Plenty of more news and information from across the greater West Bloomfield community all throughout the week. You can always stay tuned with us on CivicCenterTV.com and across our social media for more information. For our entire team here at Civic Center TV, I'm Tyler Kieft. Stay with us all throughout the week for more from the Splash Live.